been put there, so we can get to it.
No, it costs next to nothing to have a set of honestly.
Still costs a lot of money, but you can pay out four-figure sums for mine. Yes, we'll go with the WI
The standard of the exhibits and the number of exhibits. It's lovely to think that Charing is such a flourishing society when all around me I hear tales that other societies are talking about going under. If anyone lives near Kennington, they need your support, and so do Great Chart. This is a very special occasion because we have a new trophy. Mr. Hosking, who is our president for I've lost count of how many years, but he was president all the time when I started, when I first moved back to Charing, and then all the time I've been in Charing since. And he has made, or had made, commissioned is the word, this wonderful trophy for us to mark the Millennium, and something to take into our future as a very flourishing society. It's been made specially by two local silversmiths, so I can't see where, oh there they are, oh, there's one of them anyway, by Stephen Otterwell and Justin Richardson, who are based at Evegate. So if you want something similar done, go and see them because their work is wonderful. Mr. Hosking is here today and he would like to present it today. It's not going to be awarded until the autumn. It's going to be awarded for outstanding exhibits. It's the aggregate of the points of outstanding exhibits. I can't remember the exact wording, I'm afraid. In flowers and fruit and vegetables. And I can't remember.
Awarded to the exhibitor getting the highest aggregate points in the year.
For floral art, I think. So I call on Mr. Hoskins now, if you would like to present this lovely trophy to us.
I wasn't quite sure whether you were going to ask me to do it first or last, but anyway.
First would be lovely.
It makes no difference really. Ladies and gentlemen, the Millennium and the year 2000 of course has been an inspiration for many, many things in the country as a whole and locally. In the country it's inspired everything from the Dome to the Eden Project. I don't know whether any of you have seen the Eden Project in Cornwall, which I had the chance to see only last week. Quite fantastic. That's a Millennium project, and everything down to street parties. Locally, as you know, we have used the occasion to floodlight the church, and I know that the History Society has introduced a project to encourage local children to learn a bit more about their past. And here we are, the wonderful Charing Gardeners Society, who have decided to hold, against all the odds, decided to hold their show here in this marquee to mark the Millennium. And although we had the idea several years ago that it might be a good thing to upgrade the Hosking Cup, which up to now has been the trophy given to the person who wins most points throughout the year for all classes, we realised between us, I'm not quite sure when, that the Millennium might be a better time to do this. So it gave us a bit of a while to think about how we might set about it, and I said that I would be very pleased, particularly as it was my father, when he was president of this society, who gave the original Hosking Cup. I would very much like to replace it with something which I hope would be a little bit better, a little bit more worthy of somebody who wins most points in the whole year. And the next great problem was, of course, what should that be? And so having got the inspiration to do something about it, I wasn't quite sure until I heard of Messrs. Otwell and Richardson, or Richardson and Otwell, who operate not very far from here at Eavegate, and some of you will know of them. And so I went to see them. But of course, the first thing they asked me was, what do you have in mind? And I didn't really know. All I said to Stephen Otwell, who I'm delighted is here, and I think he's hilarious. I think what I said to you was, well, I shall know what I like when I see it.
That's right, yeah.
Something silly like that. But anyway, I worked out a sort of specification to give him, which went rather like this. I wanted to get away from the traditional cup, and if possible, to find something that suggested production from plants, which is after all what the Gardening Society is all about. We are producing things from plants, either in the form of flowers or vegetables or fruit or produce of one sort or another. And so I wanted to try and find something that would at least suggest what a Gardeners' Society is all about. I also wanted it, if possible, to be useful, rather than just an ornament on somebody's mantelpiece or table. I would have hoped that it could be used for fruit or flowers or potpourri or something like that. So that was another part of the specification. It also, of course, really does need to be something that is beautiful or worthy to be put on somebody's mantelpiece or table in its own right. So it has to be beautiful, and finally, it has to be worth winning. So I hope that it will be an incentive and an encouragement to those who exhibit at these shows to want to win it. So having gone to Stephen Otwell and talked about it, and having he, I think, picked up roughly what I was hoping he could achieve, he went away and said he'd think about it, and did a few drawings and came back to me with this. And I immediately, in drawing form, he came back to me with this, and I immediately realized that this was, in fact, I was seeing what I wanted, and he had exactly got what I thought I wanted anyway. Whether you think he's reflected what I wanted him to do is up to you, but I certainly felt that he met my specification. So, incidentally, some of you will have read in the Kentish Express a few weeks ago that I'm an artist. Why are you laughing?
Drinking art.
But it's not true. I don't know quite where the Kentish Express got it from, but it said that not only I was an artist, but I'd exhibited my drawings to the April show. but maybe they were thinking of this chap. 4 years ago, there was a poster in this district advertising my exhibition in Sandgate. So, maybe this Kentish Express reporter knows something I don't. There is an artist around here anyway, apparently called John Hosking, but it's not me. So Stephen Otwell came up with this design, and we went ahead. And what I would like to say this afternoon is what a tremendous pleasure it has been to work with somebody like him here locally, producing the most beautiful stuff. I've seen some of the other work that he and his partner do, and it really is very talented, very high-class stuff, and it's being done by them here on a relatively small scale, young men producing a really first-class article, and I was very, very pleased to find myself in a position to support the work that they're doing, and I wish them great success in the future if they're producing stuff of this quality. I really am pleased, and I hope everybody else will be too. It's also very pleasing indeed to be able to do this for the Charing Society, for which, as you know, I have a tremendously high regard, and with which my family have been associated for well over 50 years, dare I say now. In my view, things like Gardeners' Societies represent all that is best in villages and the countryside, and it's very, very nice to be associated with something, and it's very pleasing indeed, isn't it, to see what a success this afternoon clearly has been, with the Society being bold enough to hold it here in the marquee, where everything shows itself off so much better, doesn't it, than in the parish hall. I don't wish to run down the dear old parish hall, but a marquee for Gardeners' Society shows is definitely better, if only we can afford to do it every time, but I appreciate that we come. However, Just a word quickly about the inscription. Inscribing is incredibly expensive, and Stephen Otwell won't mind me saying this, but there might have been a danger at one point that if I wanted to put too much on here, the inscribing would have cost more than the bowl. So, in the end, we had to do a little bit of pruning, but I don't think it's any the worse for that. It now finishes up at the top here by saying the President's Millennium Bowl, which I think is probably appropriate for the occasion. And then just round the bottom, the gold bit at the bottom here, it says that I've given it to the Society and that I did so in the year 2000. And underneath here it is marked with the unique Millennium hallmark, which only goes on silverware that is produced this year. Is that correct?
1999 and
99, 2000. Any articles turned out new during those 2 years will have this unique hallmark on it, and this one has. So, Madam Chairman, it gives me a very great pleasure indeed to formally present this to you on behalf of the Society.
Wonderful. I've got no chance of winning it, but I shall keep trying. I think Tony Evans is looking good to win it this year, and he will be guarding it with his shotgun.